or when we were cleaning out the garage and deciding what we're keeping and what we're throwing out, what we're bringing with us and what we're not.
Yeah.
Seemed like anything like that I brought and put in that shed though, in the back of the rental house.
Yeah. I don't know.
Water gun thing.
Ew.
Everyone's a beetle. Chickies. You see it?
He's like, you're just holding
You got it. Hi from Hill Family Homestead. We are planting, or we are getting the soil ready for our garden. We are just preparing a little plot. It's not very big. We are using tarps and we're tilling because it's really weedy out here and we're just starting. We are determined to have a garden this spring, so we're getting ready now. So let's look at what we've done and what we're planning to do. Just to give you an idea, this is what the ground looked like before. It is full of blackberry vines and weeds, but everything is still fairly dead, which makes it easier right now to do this. So Paul dug everything up, kind of like disturbed it with the shovel, loosened everything up with the shovel, and then I'm going over it with this rake and just pulling out all of the big roots, as many weeds and plants as I can. And then we're covering what we've done with these tarps. And the reason for that is we're hoping to, for the heat to cause the seeds and weeds to sprout, and then since the light is, they're blocked from the light, then they'll just die. I think we saw that on a Justin Rhodes episode when he was visiting a farm that used tarps like this on the regular for weed control. So we're experimenting, we're trying different things, and we'll see how it turns out. I'm feeling pretty optimistic though. What Paul is doing right now is measuring out the space between the blueberry bushes that we're gonna buy. We're buying, what are they called?
Rabbit eye blueberries.
We're buying rabbit eye blueberries that they grow very well here. But what's when they're dormant?
Southeast.
Yeah, but like when they're dormant, like what?
The bare root plants.
Oh yeah, there we go. So we're gonna get 50 bare root rabbit eye blueberry plants. I forgot to mention that one of the reasons why we picked this spot right here is because all this area used to be pine tree forest, and that was chopped down long before we got here. So there's a ton of mulch just in the dirt. The tree stumps were just kind of left to rot, and most of them have rotted. It was never like developed any past that, so the soil is already kind of loose and easy to till. So also this area is fairly close to the house, and far enough away from the septic tank that we don't have to worry about that. So you can kind of see in there's mulch, a lot of roots and everything, but obviously we're taking care of those. But right there, see? Nice decomposing pine tree mulch.
So this other project out here next to the garden is the blueberry patch Jasmine mentioned, and our plan here is to start out with 50 plants, bare root plants, which means that they're dug up when they're dormant at about the size we're getting are 2 to 3 feet tall plants, and they'll come basically as a bare plant that's been pruned down to just the main branches and all the dirt and soil washed off of the roots. And the time to transplant them is in the winter when they're still dormant and not growing. It's the least stressful time for the plant. So according to the UGA extension, the spacing for rabbit eye blueberries, which are native to the southeast and this region of Georgia, the spacing for those is recommended to be about 5 to 6 feet between plants in a row and 11 to 12 feet between rows. So here I've just marked out one row in a straight line, and I'm going to go and measure and mark off every 5 feet where we're going to put a plant, and just try and get the spacing in the area that we need for these bushes when they come, or these plants. They won't be bushes yet. Start right about here and make one row here, the second row here that I've marked out, and just keep on going down this way, picking up on the far side of the garden over here, and maybe in the future expanding out over this field if we have a lot of success and decide we want more blueberries, or maybe adding some other kind of bushes with fruit or something like that out here. So it's getting a little darker now, but what I've done is along this first row, I took some cedar shims that we had and just measured out every 5 feet along the first row. And there's a lot fewer plants per row than I imagined. I was just guessing we'd fit 10 plants in a row up until we got to where those trees are. You don't want these bushes to be in the shade. They like full sun, so we weren't going to go past those trees. We were just going to fill in from the edge of the garden here all the way out to those couple of trees there, and just kind of make a square-shaped area here, then continue that out this way. And this is a 30-foot tape measure, so there are, starting right here, there are 5 cedar shingles in the ground, so that is how long the row is going to be, right to the end of the tape measure. So any further, and we would have the branches filled out with leaves in the summertime, shading out. We'd have the branches, when they fill out with leaves in the summertime, creating a lot of shade anywhere further out past this way. So we don't want to really plant anything out in this region because it'll get shaded out and they just won't do as well. So we were gonna stick to this field here and just kind of grow our blueberry patch that way. But it looks like these rows, there's going to have to be a lot more rows than I thought. To have 50 plants, we're going to have to do 10 of these rows with 5 rows in each one. And these rows here will be shorter that are next to the garden, because that takes up about 10 feet there in length. So we'll do an update once we've got some of the areas for the bushes prepared. And maybe even, we'll definitely have to do a video of some of those plants getting put in the ground once we get them here. So it's January now, and this is the time that you want to plant these because the plants have not come out of dormancy yet, and so they'll have time for the roots to get used to the soil and be established before that growing season comes in, and then they won't be getting disturbed during that growing season. So it won't interfere with the growth of the plant. That's it for now.